Sometime late last year, we took an assessment of how much a contestant for the office of a governor in Nigeria spends in the build-up to the election, during the primaries, and during the election itself, and post-election, tribunal issues and all of that. And we saw it to be between 20 and 30 billion naira. Yes. And so if you spend that kind of money to get to an office, of course, everybody sees it as an investment. And that's why we are here, to see what can we do to sanitize our electoral process and ensuring that the process is not contaminated. Because when the process is contaminated, you get contaminated leaders.
Hello, everyone. You just listened to the EFCC chairman. They're talking about, is it a survey or a research that they did and finding out that people spend literally about 30 billion naira for them to be able to get into office, for them to get into, especially the office of governor. That's for gubernatorial election, in terms of all the things that are done and then post electoral issues and all of that. One thing for sure is that when you win election, then you must go in for litigation. You cannot say that you will not go for litigation. And litigation is actually also very expensive. And you also have a lot of frivolous cases. Just to digress a little bit, one of the things that you have, and which is also another thing that I have even spoken about in a lot of places, that, in terms of, for you to be a son, there are a number of cases that you must have taken to the Supreme Court for you to be a son. And unfortunately, electoral matters are also being counted as those things. Electoral matters, they are expedited kind of matters that they push very fast. So they have to move them very fast and within a very short time. For example, you're talking about other normal matters. Sometimes they will take 20 years for them to get to Supreme Court. So for most lawyers that want to be able to get that sonship or to be named a son, they need a lot of these electoral issues for them to be able to take them to Supreme Court. Because if you have for governor and presidential, they get to Supreme Court. The other ones, don't get to Supreme Court. Yeah, I think it's governor or presidential. And so you can do that within 6 months or within a year, less than a year, you will be able to get that all the way to Supreme Court. Then if you look at it, when you're looking at land issue, that sometimes it will take 40 years before it gets to Supreme Court. So most times they use that. And because of that, no matter how frivolous the case, no matter even somebody does not have this thing, many lawyers want to go to court. They will even come and meet you and tell you that you don't even need to pay anything because they want to be able to take that case there. And I've also put it that one of the suggestions in terms of electoral reform and all of that is that we should remove be it electoral reform or whatever judicial reform we need to do, we should remove the cases that get to Supreme Court through election tribunal. We should remove them from the ones that are assigned to someone being a son, so that pressure that you have, that no matter how frivolous a case is, people wanted to take it all the way to Supreme Court. That then comes out of it. So you don't have this. So it's quite expensive for those that are. So if you have someone spending about 30 billion to be able to get into the office of a governor, what kind of work are you expecting that person to come and do for you? On a very serious note, I've said this thing before, and I know many people misinterpreted it in the ways that they wanted. If you don't have money, why are you running? Why would you then run? There was one. What was it that they will say? Oh, is it that people that come and donate? Okay, if you say that if you spend money, then you will not work for people. Then that means you never wanted to work for people. All manner of things. But the thing is that anybody spending 30 billion naira to get into office, his own money or money from people that are standing for him, it is no longer politics, it is business. And when they get in there, they are going to first of all, get back the 30 billion naira, get the profit for that 30 billion naira, and then get the one they will use for the next 30 billion naira that they need. They will have to get it. If we want all of these things to change, the thing that we need to do is very simple. And that will be that citizens must begin to fund these things. Citizens must begin to donate to, candidates that they believe in. So in that way, people are able to say, hey, even though I got in here based on, I didn't have to expend a lot of my own, resources. I was able to get in there based on A, B, C, D, people around, and that would sort of like make more sense at the end of the day. But if you just leave everything to say, oh, it's just these candidates that are going to be coming in, and then they will not be the ones to fund this election and all of that, many of these. Yes, there are people that have the money, for example, in other positions, like the legislative arm of government, even though, yeah, it's also expensive, but not as expensive as this when you have with the executive, arm of government. And that's why, in a way, when I always talk to people, I say those are areas that we as citizens we can even focus on in trying to get more people into those offices. But the main thing here, like you saw, this is someone, the person that is speaking is not someone that does not have the capacity to do anything. We are talking about the chairman of the EFCC has been empowered by the laws of the land for him to be able to take action, for him to be able, be it prosecute people, find a way, whatever it needs to be done to do it. But when you see them come out and lament in the same way that we do not have any, powers given to us by the laws of the land, the way we would lament is the way they also come out and lament. Why are you telling us of all of this? What concrete action have you taken to ensure that this does not, continue to happen? I mean, these are some of the questions, that he should be answering, not to just come and tell us, okay, now that he has informed us of this, what are we supposed to do with information? What does he want us to do with the information? Hello. So there needs to be an action that is attached to it. But most importantly, I think even for us as citizens, these are times where we need to sit back and really reflect on the things that we're doing and in the manner that we're doing it. Is it working? Because they say insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. Because right now, what we're doing is that we're expecting a different result from this particular thing that has not been working, for years. So we also need to do the needful to ensure that we get the right thing out there. And the agencies also. That, hey, we all know EFCC. Right now, there's no independence there. It is what they're told to do and the way they're told. Because you can say it in the manner in which some people are prosecuted, some people are no longer prosecuted. The same Yaya Bello that they were looking for yesterday, they are no longer looking for him. He's not running for office. The same, the one Okowa from Delta that they said they were looking for, how many? They are not doing anything. So you just sit down and say, you guys too, fix yourself. If you fix yourself, Nigeria will go on a long way of being fixed. Thank you so much for watching. Bye.